Hi, I'm Joe Finn with Parasound, and we're here today at Audio Advisor to talk a little bit about the A21 Plus amplifier. This is a 300 watt per channel amplifier. When you pop the top on an A21 Plus and you look at the size of the toroidal transformer involved, you look at the shielding that we're using, you're looking at the wiring path, it is an amazingly well-built amplifier. In power amplifiers, power is logarithmic, not arithmetic. So if you have a 100 watt per channel power amplifier, you would literally need a 1000 watt per channel amplifier to double the output power. But again, wattage doesn't describe everything about an amplifier's characteristics, and that's where I'd like to talk about current. Wattage is typically measured with an 8 ohm resistor, so you're getting the power output not in terms of what it will do when it's feeding your loudspeakers, but you're getting the power output at one spot along the audio spectrum. One of the wonderful things about an A21 Plus is that it is so capable of delivering power into various loads, even down to 2 ohms. It's an extremely stable amplifier. And it's capable of delivering a lot more current than you would expect from a 300 watt per channel power amplifier. So the benefits here are not necessarily that it will play so much louder than a lesser expensive 100 watt amplifier, but rather that it can deliver so much more current, which has direct impact on the quality of the bass that you're going to hear. You have wonderful control over the woofers in your speakers with this product, and really outstanding sound in the bottom end. Power amplifiers tend to have a characteristic sound to them. Some amplifiers have a wonderfully smooth and clean and easy to listen to top end, the upper frequencies, the treble part of the spectrum, but sometimes are a little lacking in the bass and the bottom end. Other amplifiers give great bass and have wonderful control over the woofers, but may lack in terms of the top end. They may have a bright or strident or harsh sounding top end. One of the things I think that you'll experience with the A21 Plus, and that we're getting rave reviews both from reviewers and our customers about, is that it sounds so clean and so neutral all throughout the audio spectrum. Great bass, wonderful control over the low frequencies, over the woofers in your system, but a very open and wonderful to listen to mid-range and a very smooth and extended top end. The last thing I think we want to talk about when we're talking about Class A operation is that there are amplifiers that operate in pure Class A all the time, and they tend to be wonderful to listen to, especially at lower volume levels. But as you know, music can be very dynamic, and if you get a big orchestral crescendo, something on that order, they may run out of power and start distorting when you really need for them to hang in there and stay with you. We've engineered the A21 Plus so that it's capable of staying in Class A up to considerably louder levels than most amplifiers can stay in Class A. So you get this wonderful combination of when you're listening at soft levels, or what we might call normal volume levels, this wonderful sound quality that when you get a big crescendo from the orchestra or that big heavy kick drum passage in rock music, smoothly transitions into Class B, and there's plenty of power reserve for those dynamic peaks. The fact that the amp can stay in Class A up to a much higher level than most amplifiers can gives you a considerably better sound quality, both at what we might consider normal volume levels and when you're having a party or you've got that especially dynamic passage of music. And now I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the unique features on the back panel. First, we'll start with these custom binding posts. This is a 5-way binding post that is extremely rugged. You can connect whether you're using bananas, spade lugs, bare wire. You can use almost any connection, and it'll work well with these rugged binding posts that we have. Secondly, we've got auto turn on and auto turn off functions. So you can connect this with 12-volt trigger and have the amplifier turn on when the rest of the system turns on. You can also do that with audio turn on and turn off. Although we always prefer the 12-volt trigger method, it tends to be a little bit more reliable. You can, if you wish, choose to bridge this amplifier in mono and use 2 of them, one for the left, one for the right. That obviously doubles the power output and would enable you to have quite a bit more power for a better sound quality. However, there is sort of one downside to using twin amplifiers that way, and that's that the stability of the amp into low impedance loads changes. So we've built in a really unique function. We have level controls, both for the left channel and for the right channel, and we have this loop in, loop out function. So you can do what we refer to as vertical biamping, where you literally can take a loop from one of these channels to the other and use this one amplifier to vertically biamp. In other words, one channel is running the top end, the tweeter and mid-range part of the spectrum. The other channel is running the bass end. And then you would buy a second one of these, and instead of strapping the 2 amps in mono, which again will have a little bit of a negative effect on the ability of the amplifier to do well into low impedance loads, and do the same thing with that second amplifier. Because we've built in this loop in, loop out, so that you can use the 2 sides of the stereo amp on one speaker and come back with your gain adjustments and set them so that you've got exactly the right proportion of sound quality coming from the mid and tweeter part and from the bass part. Of course, we can also mention that you either have conventional single-ended or RCA type cable connections or balanced connections as well. Last thing is that we do have a removable IEC power socket so that you can upgrade the cable if you wish, and Audio Advisor sells many different types of upgraded cables if you choose to do that. So that's a tour of the A21 Plus amplifier from Parasound. We hope you've enjoyed this video. There's considerably more information available both on Audio Advisor's wonderful website, or you can visit us at www.parasound.com, or pick up the phone and call, or send us an email. We're more than happy to help you with your purchase.